But we got to get to the heart of the matter. We're very, very fortunate to have Alex Wilkes with us. It's Wilkes, right, Alex? It's not Wilkie?
It's Wilkes.
Wilkes. See, that's the way I've been saying it. Executive Director of America Rising. And Alexandra?
Yeah.
That is my daughter's name. You didn't pick Allie.
My family calls me Al.
Actually. Al is good, but I call Allie Alex, but she likes Allie.
She likes Allie.
But Alexandra's a great name.
My mom prefers it when I get called Alexandra.
Yeah, so Alexandra, when they're firm and they want to make their point. Yes. Alexandra, look at you, young girl like yourself. This is great. Now tell us about what America Rising is.
So America Rising is the GOP's premier opposition research organization. So all we do all day long is track Democrats, listen to them, so you don't have to.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like fun.
I want you to think about this for a second. If there is a staffer that has to listen to Elizabeth Warren all day,
no,
pray for him.
You're kidding? You really put somebody in charge of that to track and make sure everything's
absolutely. So we've been cataloging all of their statements. This includes our people running in 2018 for the Senate and for the House, and also for 2020. All of these candidates that are in the mix, we've been tracking their statements, methodically saving them to our archives so we can search them and pull them up at the exact right moment.
Did you start this?
No. So this was actually started by Matt Rhodes and a collection of other amazing people. Matt Rhodes was, of course, Mitt Romney's campaign manager in 2012.
Yep.
And, it was started largely in response to the fact that in 2012, there wasn't a significant opposition research presence to defeat President Obama for his second term. So we're sort of the answer to 2012. And I think that now we're really ahead of where the Democrats were and are today in terms of opposition research.
Frankie Five Bros just told me, and I just looked at your Twitter page. Here, I'll follow you. I'll follow about Alex Wilkes. This at Alex Wilkes. Is that where you're at, Alex Wilkes?
I used to be a Smith, so I'm at Alexandra C. Smith.
All right, great. Alexandra C. Smith. That picture.
Iconic, right?
I have posted that picture before, and then you're listening, and if you're watching, you can't see the picture. And I'm sorry, guys, I should give it to George to post. It's got Bob Hope, John Wayne, Ronald Reagan, Dean Martin, and Frank Sinatra in one shot. I don't know if you can get it. I'll have to send it to you guys. This is one, and you know what somebody tweeted? They said, when men were men, but how did you pick that picture? You're a young gal. How would you have the sensibility of that?
So I might be young, but I'm an old soul.
Yeah,
and I love that time.
Yeah.
I love the music.
Yeah.
And
Look
of course,
at you.
I love Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, he was the best, right?
Yes.
That you could see it, but you weren't even born. How do you get indoctrinated to something like that?
Well,
your parents.
I'm a New Jersey girl.
There you go, kid.
We have Francis Albert, of course, from Hoboken, and so I feel like it's only fitting that we celebrate him and Ronald Reagan and that time in American history.
All those guys, right? And
class acts.
And where you from originally? You're from outside of Philadelphia?
Outside of Philadelphia.
Love Philadelphia.
Yes.
They're great town.
Yep.
And now you married a Jersey guy.
Married a Jersey guy.
You met him at school.
At Catholic University.
And he got you to go to Jersey. Come to Jersey, right?
He got me to come to New Jersey.
And you like paying the high taxes. You don't mind, right? Honey, let's go back to Pennsylvania, please. No?
Our love is strong.
Yeah, there you go. It's gotta be.
Has to be.
I ain't moving. But oh my gosh, they don't make it easy.
They don't make it easy for millennials to stay and for young people to stay, and certainly that lies at the feet of Phil Murphy.
Yeah, you are so astute at all of this in politics. What made you a conservative?
Honestly, I grew up in a house where my parents were both conservative, but they always encouraged me to think for myself. So, even if I would bring up arguments that they agreed with, they would push me on them and challenge me to defend them. We had a ton of books and newspapers lying around the house, listened to talk radio when I was a little kid. And so there was an abundance of news around, and that's how I really fell in love with politics. And
so now you with America Rising, is that based in Washington, or
it is based in Washington? So
America Rising, how do you track? Tell us about the tracking program of America's Rising.
So we have, a couple different parts of this. That's part of our whole system here. Right now, we have about 25 trackers out in the field and about 200 part-timers. So these are people who follow the Democratic candidates around with cameras. And actually, Joe Biden just called one of our trackers, a name that I won't repeat here on the air. But you can go find the video on our YouTube page.
He used foul language. Biden did.
Yes.
Wow. And you guys don't assault anybody. You just do this in a nice amicable way,
Absolutely.
objective way, and you just roll the camera.
Yep, we our guys are total professionals. They show up and they film and they are there like any other citizen could show up and start filming a candidate. We're not there to disrupt. We're there just to hold Democratic candidates accountable and hear what they have to say when maybe other cameras aren't rolling, including local news and other places. So that's the tracking program. And then we have great analysts back in DC in our war room and in our research department. These guys are 24/7 monitoring the news, watching all of these videos of Democratic candidates that no one would bother to watch, and making sure that we're pulling out these nuggets of information that could be damaging either right now or later on. So we have just an absolute catalog of statements and video and all kinds
Alex,
of stuff.
you were great on Outnumbered yesterday, by the way. No, that's great that you're going to national television doing that, but you're a millennial.
Yes.
So, yet you're a conservative. How do you get that message out to other millennials? Because they're at this point, they're blind. So they're just blind. And there's no, when you ask them, why are you voting for this person? Why are you so viciously left? There's no explanation. It's always anti-Trump. Yeah. And you and I both know that's not an argument. I mean, how do you get the message across to your fellow millennials?
So this is kind of putting on my old hat for a second. I used to be national chair of college Republicans. So I've been making mischief for a while.
Outside of Philly, yeah, which is very, very left, very, very progressive.
And so, I ran the national organization. This was an organization that was run by Karl Rove, Lee Atwater, were some of the alums of CRNC.
Holy moly.
And so that was our constant challenge, was how do we spread the conservative message out to young people? And I think that the good news is for us as conservatives is that young people, they may not know it, but they are conservatives in their behavior. They embrace the free market system. Our generation is all about choices. It's all about, organic things that come from the bottom up and not from the top down. So this isn't a generation that's going to be told what to do. And so, the challenge here is how do we extrapolate that argument out to healthcare, out to the economy, and say, if you don't like, being told what to do in any other part of your life, why these parts here? But I think what I always say to my fellow conservatives is that we can't expect young people to come to us to ask them why they should be to ask us why they should be conservative. We have to go to them. We have to present these arguments to them and go where they are. So that's going online, that's going to college campuses, being active and being out there.
God bless you, girl. The blue waves are going to happen or not? What are you thinking? Your research shows what?
Well, look, I think that this was sort of hyped from the beginning that there would be this huge blue wave of Democratic seats. And I think that the first place where Democrats naturally looked for this to happen were in these Clinton districts. So these are districts where Clinton won, but there's a Republican congressman there. And someone like, for example, Leonard Lance, who we were just discussing. That's a great example of a district like that.
Great public servant doing a great job.
Absolutely. So, from suburban New Jersey, again, that's a lot of the voters that we're sort of concerned about this time, suburban women. And, so the Democrats sort of focused their efforts there. But I think they got a little greedy and started to spread out a little bit more, thinking we're going to expand the map to 60, 70 seats. And they started investing in places like Arkansas 2nd District and dropped a bunch of money on an ad there recently. Well, their guy is down by 12. And I think that the reason why, why they're sort of hitting a roadblock at this point and why their majority is in danger in terms of taking the House is because, I think there was sort of a turn of events with the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. I think that fired up a lot of Republican voters. And just the general incivility that you're seeing from Democrats.
Alex Wilkes, Executive Director of American Rising. Alex, you got to come back again.
Absolutely.
Great.
Anytime, Joe.
We appreciate it. Thanks for getting up early in the morning with us. Debbie.